down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk. I'm down to dunk.
This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk. I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
We say this is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No,
No. Okay.
but it's healthy.
Are you a big oat brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
Do you have a gallon of milk I can also take home?
You don't have milk in there?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Crunch. Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah.
Good morning and welcome! Episode 1, 2, 3, 1, down, 2, dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else to subscribe to our podcast. Go to theathletic.com/down to dunk and get The Athletic for $1 a month for 6 months. And Luke, spooky Lukey, join with Andrew.
I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Woo!
Slam through.
Taylor.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Jaws. Got it. So far,
Forrest
Andrew
Gump.
1, J1,
No, J2.
J2.
And Jay.
It's Jay.
And Alex.
Hi. Alice here. Steve Ballmer was at the game on Tuesday, and I was very close to going up to him and talking to him about it.
How did you not?
I don't know. I don't know how I controlled myself the whole time, but I really wanted to
You get tackled by security so fast?
go talk to him. I mean, that's possible. That's possible. But I did have access to the court to go like stand next to him if I wanted to.
What would have been your opener?
I couldn't fathom what to say. I would have just said something really embarrassing.
You would have
probably.
just slapped his thigh.
I know, just slapped, just rubbed his thigh. That's probably what I would have done.
Do you know how mad he probably was?
They lost to the Thunder
Twice.
Yes.
And
Twice.
he's probably spent the whole week here. And he's probably been living in OKC if they played on Tuesday and Thursday.
Living it up.
He was just there Tuesday.
So he just flew in and flew home.
okay.
Yeah. The Clippers had been here this whole time. We actually talked to Ty Lue before the game last night, and Joe asked him, "What do you think about these series against the same team in the same city?" And he said, "Well, depends on where I'm at." And so I said, "What do you think about doing a series like this in Oklahoma City?" And he just like started laughing. The Clippers played like they had been in a very boring city for an entire week last night. The Clippers were bad, like really bad in these two games. Paul George was sick and then played last night, and then afterwards
He still wasn't right.
they said like he was still sick. Yeah, he did not look engaged. Like anytime, and like last year, if a fan was like, "Hey Paul, we love you," he would like turn and like wave at them. Like he just was just like nothing the whole night. And
That's also because he was in the torture chamber.
it's also because he sucked. Yeah,
That helps. Reggie, they looked old.
They did.
they really did. They did not play well at all.
I was just looking it up. You know what the combined record of their 2 wins are? Like the teams they play?
They beat Sacramento.
Yes.
I know that.
So 0-4.
And
And
the Lakers.
the Lakers. Yeah, that's right.
So the 2 teams they've beaten are 0-8 currently.
Yeah.
And they're 2-3 overall. Which now you look at their schedule and it's like, how did they not take advantage of this? Like they played at LA, at Sacramento, Phoenix, OKC, and they're coming out of that 2-3.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, they should be 4-1 at worst.
Yeah, even with Kawhi out, because I mean, this is basically the same roster, arguably still improved from last year,
Yeah.
even with Kawhi out. And
Yeah.
that team, we saw what they did in the second half of the season, and they were pretty good.
They were good. They do look old. Like they do, and I don't know what it is, because that didn't look like the Clippers team that we had seen in the past. Because they would just find ways to win last year.
Yeah.
I remember watching so many of their games, and they were just in them. A lot of it was the defense, and the defense was just not there. Either that or Shai might be the best player in the NBA. I don't know which is which, but he was able to do whatever he wanted almost all night last night.
Well, and last night, Trey Mann, I think, was it in the third quarter? It was pretty early in the game that Trey Mann was picking up Shai full court.
Terrence, man.
Terrence
T-Man.
Man, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yes,
So this is the T-Man debate.
I don't feel like it's a debate.
It's a debate.
It's a debate. Which is which?
But Terrence
We don't
Mann-
know.
Terrence Mann has not been very good this year. He's averaging 5 points per game. on
Yeah,
the season.
he didn't do a whole lot in Oklahoma City this week.
I guess apparently all year he hasn't done much.
Yeah.
But that's a guy that that's been able to bring points to the table for them last year.
Well, the
So-
Clippers offense overall is second or third worst in the entire NBA right now.
They are second. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just looked it up.
And for me, I'm like,
Matches the eye test.
yeah, it absolutely does. And I think that's finally the fact that you rely as much as they have on Reggie Jackson is maybe finally getting them,
Yeah.
because he was better last night,
Yeah, he was pretty good.
but that first game he was abysmal
Yeah.
and just had the green light. And you just realize, like, even though they project this amount of depth for the Clippers, like, it's really not great depth. Like John Wall, Luke Kennard, I think, was their best maybe overall player outside of Zubac.
Mm-hmm. They just
Trying to think. But
they just don't have shot creators is the thing. Like that's the thing that they
yeah, they have
lack.
finishers maybe, but
And the shot creators on their team it's Paul George and it's Kawhi.
I don't know what to do with John Wall either.
John Wall's
He's
he
been
played
fine.
He played really well last night. He was
Yeah.
not good on Tuesday, but he was pretty good last night. I just don't think that you can really factor him in as somebody that's going to propel your team, because defensively he's just not there at all.
And Batum, they had to play Batum so much too. And is
Yeah.
that the plan the rest of the season? I mean, is Batum going to play 20 minutes a night?
I forget the
Maybe.
fact, even
I
as
don't
we were
know.
thinking about it, like they didn't have one of their big players is Marcus Morris, and he hasn't played.
He's
this
the other
year,
shot
has he?
creator. Yeah, no, his dad died, and so
Oh, that
he's-
stinks.
yeah.
Jay.
So insensitive. I'm so sorry.
Wow, good job, Jay. But let's talk about the Thunder, who played really well last night. You text this last night that like it felt like almost everybody played well. I mean, it was kind of wild. I mean, even Dorton Baisley, the whipping boys of the Thunder fan base, played well last night, and they pretty much controlled this game from beginning to end. There were moments where the Clippers stormed back, but the Thunder were able to weather the storm and won this game pretty easily on the back of our guy Poku, who hit a corner three that just, I mean, in the Minnesota game, in the first one, that it would have been the moment that he was short circuiting and just throwing the ball off the backboard. He actually like nailed the corner three, and he felt very poised. And it was a moment that Mark actually trusted him.
There was a pull-up three in transition too, I think. Or they were like getting into a half-court set,
Yeah.
and his defender just laid off of him.
Yep.
And so he just pulled up and
Yeah.
nailed it. I was like, he
Mhm.
never makes those. Ever. Never makes
he hit,
those.
He hit 2 threes like toward the end of the game that felt like wait, who is that? What's happening here?
Completely, because I think that the meltdown in game one lasted every other game they had played until the fourth quarter. Because if you remember yesterday's first half, Poku,
Yeah.
he had the dumbest passes.
He threw the ball. There was literally not even a defender in the corner. There was nobody in the corner, and he just whips it to the corner.
He threw one pass and the Thunder ended up getting it, but he threw it and he hit Dwight Powell in the calf, like trying to get it to Trey Mann.
That was a point in the game where it felt like the Thunder could have played yakety sax over the entire like everything. It was just not good. But yeah,
I was
Poku was a part
confused.
of it.
You said Dwight Powell.
That's not
Norman.
him.
Norman Powell.
Dang, man, weird.
We're all over the place today. Friday, am I right?
Yeah, no,
Job, Luke.
yeah.
You said Dwight Powell, Jay.
But yeah, with 5 minutes left, they had Poku in as the center, and I just was curious, like, are they going to actually give him a chance to close this game? Just because Mark has been pretty wild with the Poku substitutions in particular, where he'll pull him after 10 seconds if he's not doing what he's supposed to do. But he actually got to close the game and played pretty well, and he blocked Zub at the rim late in the game too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like he looked really good.
Yeah, I thought it was. You mentioned Bays and Dort. Like I thought both of them. Obviously Dort's line was like incredible. Like he was 9 of 15.
Yeah,
he only took 5 threes, which only doesn't. I mean, 5 is still a lot, but
yeah.
like that was like 3 or 4 going into like the fourth quarter. Like the bulk of that game, and I think Mark talked about this afterwards. He was just like his decision making, and he was making the right plays the entire game. And I felt the same way about Baisley. Like in his 22 minutes, like that version of Baisley was awesome. He was doing exactly what you would want him to do.
On defense, he was really good. He blocked 2 3-point shots, which is kind of becoming one of his things. Offensively, if he will just be the guy that's not making the decision, it was good. But there were times where the ball would hit his hand on the perimeter still, and it would just be like the whole offense would just halt, and he was like, don't know what to do. And then he would take a bad shot. That happened a couple times. So like there's still like I want him to be like strictly backup center bays, screen and roll only.
So you're saying kind of play like Dwight Powell.
Oh, that's
This is what Jay was
Jay.
getting at.
Oh.
Jay was getting
He is. I mean, he was really impressive, and it's hard because I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to guys individually. I'd have to rewatch it to see how he plays defensively throughout the game. But as far as a rim protector, like he just does a good job of. He's like probably the most natural shot blocker on the team.
Well, I was gonna ask a question. Have any of his blocks been at the rim, or have they all been on jump shots?
he's had some at the rim.
He has.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember those, but I remember. It feels like every single game he blocks a jump shot.
Yeah. That's a legitimate skill of his.
I think that's his elite skill.
Yeah.
Did you know you
blocking.
can look up that stat?
No.
I have to go like through a backwards way to find it because I can never remember where
You
it is.
can look up what kind of block it is.
Yeah, you can look up like how many 3-pointers guys. Because I was thinking like, oh, Bays must be at like the top of the league like over the last couple of years, but he's not. It's Matisse Thybulle. Apparently,
Matisse is ridiculous.
he has like so many more than anyone in the league.
Yeah. But
And
Baisley's good though. And
Yeah.
and Matisse doesn't even play anymore, and Bays does. So maybe he is at the top.
That's true.
Would Matisse play on this team?
On this team?
Yes.
I
I don't know
I'm not sure.
because his thing is that he doesn't really want to take threes.
And he's offensively is the exact opposite of what the Thunder want. Like he's not a in the flow player. He's play finisher only. I don't know that he would. I really don't know if he would.
Which is
It-
kind of wild.
It's just difficult to play a guy like that in today's NBA that just doesn't make shots and it's defense only. I mean, I think the Thunder steered clear of guys like that in the draft because of that. Like I think, like I mean, I don't think they were going to draft Jeremy Sohan because it's difficult to fit him
Little
in
one-dimensional.
offensively. And I mean, you just look at the guys that they did draft, and they can all do stuff offensively. And that's what they want. They want flow. I mean, last night, like the assist numbers up and down the roster were pretty interesting. I mean, Jeremiah had the least amount of assists in the starting lineup. He had 2. Dort had 4. Shai had 6. Trey had 3. Wiggins had 3. Poku had 3. And K-Rich had 3. So and then the secondary playmaking that was happening last night is like that's kind of the vision of what they want for this team.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have Josh Giddey. They didn't even have J-Dub. I mean, that's 2 of their top 7 guys that they didn't have last night. and they still looked really good. So I'm very intrigued to see how this team looks the rest of the season, especially once those guys get back. And I think there's a chance that they both play in Dallas on Saturday. So J-Dub was out there shooting before the game with a mask on. He doesn't look quite as cool as you would hope, mostly because the mask makes his hair like squishes his hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because it has the band
Yeah.
on the back.
And so it's like,
Do you think they could take the bands off and just spray an adhesive inside the mask and
like
stick it to his
Batman
face?
style.
Yeah,
Then it would really fog up.
but look cooler.
Look cool.
Do you feel like every time JRE shoots a 3-pointer, it's going in?
No,
Is he the most? He's the guy. I
The
have
three
probably
looks good.
The most confidence in shooting. He's shooting
Really?
50% from 3, which
No.
is not a ton of attempts. I think it's 3 a game or something like that. But I don't know,
He
man. It
looks
felt,
good.
I thought he made like 3 or 4 last night. 1 of 2.
He made one. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who am I confusing? Wiggins, maybe? I don't
He
know.
took 4 shots. Wiggins looked good too.
Wiggins, Trey Mann, and Mike Muscala. If they pull up for 3, I think it's going in.
It's wild because
Which is funny because we shouldn't feel that way about him. He was great last night, but he hasn't
with
shot
Trey,
that
it's
great
like
from 3 this year.
purely just what it looks
it's
like.
It looks so
aesthetically
good.
like
Oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
Yeah.
oh my god. I think that too. I mentioned this the other day. Trey is almost the opposite of what like the box score like watching would look like for Kevin Durant, where you look at Kevin Durant's box score halfway through the game, it's like, how does he have 20 points? Like I don't feel like I feel like I saw 7 of them. And then with Trey, it's man, Trey has played so well tonight. He's been so good. You look at the box score and, he's like 5 points on 5 shots, and you're like, oh, huh.
He
Like,
does. He's the way he plays is just really. I mean, it's pretty. Like it's beautiful way he plays. Like he's smooth. His step back is obviously insane. What did Mark say? He's got his feet. Something about his feet
Oh
or
my
something.
gosh, yes, we were cracking up about this last night.
But yeah,
Mark. Here's the thing about Mark. He's not very old. He's 37. He's like our age,
younger than me.
but he acts like he's 57 because he says these things. The music he listens to is like the music of a 57 or a 67-year-old. And I'm like, you're not that old. He said he's got a special set of feet there. That's what he said after the game, whenever Joe asked him about his setback. And I just want to just scream like, Mark, you're not that old, man. You're not that old.
Because he's a big Springsteen guy. Right?
Yes. Yeah. He's like, I love the boss. I'm like, you're not Bill Simmons' age. Like, what is going on here? I don't know what happened. Like
For him to like Bruce Springsteen, like he's never been relevant.
Do you have a friend
During
your
his
age that
age.
likes Bruce Springsteen?
Is he from New Jersey?
Yeah, actually, I have one friend that really likes Bruce Springsteen, but he's still older than Mark Daigneault.
Yeah.
Is Mark from New Jersey?
Yeah, where is he from originally?
That'd make a ton of
He's
sense.
from that area of the country,
guess.
certainly. But
'Cause it's-
even so,
No, it's I think he's a bigger deal up there. The boss.
I know, but I have friends that are from there that
Not
that are not
He's
friends.
from Massachusetts.
Say it again.
What was that?
Massive juices.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
massive 2 shits.
All right. The Thunder looked great last night. It was, I mean, to beat the Clippers twice at home was a big deal. One of them with Paul, like really kind of like half of Paul George because he just didn't play that well. In 31 minutes, PG was 10 points on 12 shots. I mean, he didn't look right. He didn't look super engaged in the game. But still, it's a big win for the Thunder. It kind of shows their progress because I know it's kind of easy to look at the Thunder and kind of laugh at them through the first few games, and you can make fun of Poku. You can say like, "Oh my gosh, this team sucks! Like they don't have anything going for them." You know, Shai needs to get out of there. But you watch them the last couple games, and they're not even whole. I mean, it's just it was good to see. It was good to see them play well.
And it's totally, I mean, it's all Shai. Like there's a text thread going through where we were just all just depressed and angry. What was it, the first Clippers game?
It was
When we
before.
thought he
It
wasn't
was
gonna
the
play.
Because 3/4 of
afternoon
the day, it's like Giddy's out, Jalen Williams is out,
Shai's out.
Shai's out. It's like,
Yeah.
well, this is fun. My neighbors were going. They had really good seats for that game, and I was like, have fun.
Might as well give your tickets to me.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I'll go watch them.
It did feel that way. There was part of me that was like, am I really going to go to this game? Am I really going to go watch this game?
He just changes everything. Like, it's not
Yeah.
surprising. Like, he's the best player on the team, but it just dramatically changes everything when he's on the floor. Like,
Yeah.
he's the best play finisher they have. Obviously, he gets everything, and he kind of just makes, because we talked about it, that Wolves game that was whenever it was Sunday. I don't know, but it was the game where Shai was out and Giddey ran. And, we've seen that where it's worked before and Giddey's had triple doubles, but the offense looked so clunky, which is part of what the Wolves do. But that was the only game so far in the 5 that they played that they felt disengaged, uninspired. Like, it just didn't feel like normal. And that was when Lou was shooting everything and running to the rim as fast as humanly possible just to brick a layup. Like, it just was so bad. And then Shai comes in. It's a totally different team in the last 2 games.
And I wonder if that's because his teammates have more confidence if Shai's on the floor, because like if Shai's on the floor and a set or whatever they're doing doesn't work, okay, well, Shai's going to get a good shot off. So I feel like everyone's a little bit more relaxed, more confident.
It's also a revenge game for him because he hates him because they traded him.
Yes, after the game when he was hugging every single person on the Clippers staff.
Oh, it's fake. It's fake. It's a mind game.
Kill him with kindness.
Just rubbing it in their face.
Kill him with kindness.
He's shooting over, I think, 41% from 3 on the season. Shai.
He's shooting
That's
well. He's
4
not
games now.
He's not
enough.
He's not taking a ton of threes.
No, he's not. He's not taking those sidestep or like step back threes like he was last year.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of mid range. He's still trying to get to the basket like crazy.
It's the right way for him to shoot.
Yeah.
Last year, I think one of the reasons his percentage dropped like it did
He took a lot.
is because he took a lot, and he took a lot of contested
Yeah.
one-on-one threes. This one, like, he hit that. This was a time where the Clippers were starting to come back. I think it was maybe third quarter, and he hit this one that was like right into a timeout that was just, I mean, it was wide open, which Clippers defensively maybe got some work to do, but it was just, when he shoots the open shot, he's another guy that you do feel confident in. Maybe not as much as you do with JRE, but everybody else.
It still just looks weird coming out of Shai's hand. Like, I'm used to seeing it now, and I think it's changed a little bit, but it still looks like the mechanics just don't look like super natural.
No,
for a jump.
it's also kind of slow,
Yeah.
which is pretty fitting for him, but it works when it does.
You mentioned the assists kind of being spread out among the roster, but looking at the 3-point attempts, it was the same way last night, which I really appreciated. Like, it wasn't just Lou taking 9 threes or whatever. Like, Trey Mann took the most threes on the team, and it was only 7 attempts.
Yeah.
And it was pretty spread out among the rest of the guys, which would help to diffuse, going into the game would help to diffuse like how bad they've been from 3, spread it out among the team. Last night, it was like everything was clicking. The fact that they jumped it because they were, do you remember what their percentage was coming into this game? I think it was like
21.
Yeah, they're up to 30%.
Wow.
Huh?
What a game.
But
also
they were
speaks
so bad
to-
in the previous game.
It was 4-30, I think.
Yeah.
Again, though, speaking to the type of team that they're building, every single player can take a 3, and it doesn't feel like, why is that guy taking
like,
a 3?
No. Yeah.
All those, was it you or someone who was at the game tweeted that there was a guy who yelled no when Poku took, there was like very audible in the arena when Poku took one of those final threes. The one that
I
was
didn't.
above the break.
I didn't hear that. But there are people. There was a guy yelling at Reggie Jackson the whole night.
Really?
This guy goes, "Hey Reggie, we miss you." Not.
How old was this guy?
I don't know. He's sitting like very close to me, so I didn't want to turn around and be like. They're also the most annoying kids at the game. They were not kids. They were probably like 16.
You
And
talking
they,
about the Storm Chasers?
no.
They're trying to start chants and stuff.
So, yeah, that's so
Handing out
annoying.
fries to everybody.
They heckled every single player as they walked to the scorer's table the whole night, just
man.
without ceasing.
And they were like behind you.
They were sitting right behind me.
That's awesome.
And I was like, that was me when I was 16.
Do they have any
like,
good
for sure.
heckles?
Yeah, they got any good ones?
They were yelling at or they say something like, all right, Dort, new mindset whenever he's when he's walking up to the scores table.
That would destroy me if someone said that to me.
Yeah, that was the best one.
And you know we can hear that.
Oh, of course they can hear it. Also,
Like-
Dort misses a 3, and at this point they're 0-3, and the guy yells, "That's why we're 0-3, Dort." You know, whenever after he clanks this 3.
Is that a fan
Yes,
of the Clippers?
Well, no, a 16-year-old.
a
so they're just-
16-year-old, which is like they're a fan of nobody but themselves.
Yeah,
So,
Dang, that's profound.
hilarious, but
God,
very
I
cruel.
never had that level of confidence to yell at an NBA player.
we also never had
Never.
those kind of
Well,
seats
that's true.
whenever we were that age, and didn't have a team here either.
Yeah, if I was 16, I was watching like the OKC Cavs from the
Right, we're at the Blazers game trying to yell
Yeah,
through the
there we go.
glass.
Because Cavs, I think, were gone
Yeah.
when I was 12.
Oh man.
Do you remember Usman's one make? Because I just thought it was really funny.
Yes, on like a fast break drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He caught it on the break, and I don't think he intended to throw it off the backboard.
Yeah.
But it went like
Oh,
It went in.
was
very
when
quick.
it was when he had two teammates next to him as well, right?
Yes.
And he was trying. Yeah, you could see he was trying to figure out, can I pass to one of these guys? And he's like, well, I'm at the rim, so
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, he's got a ways to go. You can play him because defensively he gets it and he's got enough length and athleticism to stick with guys. But offensively, the game looks really fast for him still. And
Yeah,
so,
and maybe when J-Dub gets back, because I mean, the way he looked both in preseason and even early in the season, it
Yeah.
seems like a guy you'd want to play like 25 minutes a game. So those minutes have to come from somewhere.
he's going to play a lot, and that's like one of the questions I have is when Giddey and J-Dub are back, because last night you look at all the guys that played, you're like, yeah, all these guys are going to play, but they're not because Giddey's going to play 30 minutes.
It might be Wiggins because Wiggins
I
did
hate
play
that.
early.
I
and
hate
then
that.
Last night he plays 35 minutes, looks great.
Wiggins is legitimately a good NBA player. He was really good last night. I mean, he
Was.
played 35 minutes. He started at power forward, a good rebounder, like reads the offense well, reads the defense well, just a solid NBA player. And the 3 looks so much better. It looked good in summer league. It right now it does feel like, oh yeah, when he shoots a corner 3, I feel like it's going to go in. I mean, he's really good. If you're Mark, I don't know what you do. I mean, maybe you do play 13 guys every night, but I mean, I think that like you just don't play Muscala probably if you want to play everybody. And you can't not play Kenrich, but
I think you
I don't
probably are looking at a reduction of minutes for, I mean, Mike. There'll be times where Mike won't play at all. Like I could see that actually against the Mavericks if they play. I mean, you've got Christian Wood and Kleba. Like, is that a game where you could get away from not really having? Because Mike had to play because Zubac was killing them. Gobert, like they throw him out
Yeah.
there. But I'm like, is there in these matchups where you do have not quite as traditional a center, like maybe Mike's minutes get squeezed. I think Lou's minutes could get squeezed.
yeah,
You know, what did he play last night? Like 35 or something like that with like same as Wiggins. And so could he go down a little bit, especially if he's not making, although Mark has a tremendous amount of trust in Lou.
Mark likes it a lot.
Well, even
Yeah.
last night, we think it's about someone like JRE. Like he has pretty consistent minutes. Last night he
Mhm.
plays 15 minutes
He didn't play much
with everyone playing.
No, and it's largely because Poku played well. I mean, you would think if you're going into this season, you would think that would be Jeremiah's role, is
Yeah.
to close the game with them. But Jeremiah's played kind of a minimal role on this team so far this season, and they're really looking to develop Poku, and they're really looking to see kind of what these funky lineups look like.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. They played Usman Jang, JRE, and Muscala last night.
Yeah.
It all totaled up to about 45, 46 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of minutes right there that you can give
Yeah,
I
Jalen
know.
right when he gets back.
I
Like
know.
all three of those guys don't need to play.
But we're still not even talking about Giddy.
Oh,
Yeah. And Chet. Why don't you think about Chet now?
God, I got to think about Chet.
I
And
think
gotta
he's playing
about
this year,
Wembanyama.
Taylor.
I think Chet's going to play. I think all of my hot takes are going to come true, by the way.
Chet is walking around on the boot. Collison at practice yesterday or the day before was rebounding for him. He's out there putting up jumpers. I don't know.
With both legs?
With both legs. He's running. No, he's not running.
No, it's like
I do wonder though by the end of the season if he's like in layup lines at least.
I don't know.
I do think he'll probably warm up with. Yeah, I mean, I
Almost
think
for optics, you might just not want to do that.
Why? Optics would be fun.
I know. I don't know. I don't know how they'll handle that. I do know they'll be very intentional about how they handle that, but I don't know how they will.
If he plays one game, then this qualifies as his rookie season, correct?
Yeah, he's not going to play.
Why you? Because you're worried about rookie of the year.
I'm worried about rookie of the year.
I think he could win it if it's a good enough game.
If he did a 40 point
if
5x5,
If he scores 50 points, you've got
Think
to at
about
least
it.
consider him.
you got to at least consider.
Top 3 at least.
At least.
Uh-huh. He'd get some votes.
Hey, we didn't. Did anyone bring up in TQs about Victor Wembanyama, the streaming thing?
Oh my gosh, the NBA is so dumb.
I just want to make sure that we mentioned it.
Yeah.
No, there's not. No.
Oh, okay. So yesterday it came out that the NBA
The NBA.
NBA is going to stream all of Victor Wembanyama's games on the NBA app.
I'm so,
Like a week after Adam Silver comes out and is like, yeah, we've actually talked about relegation system and we're going to send a really strongly worded message to the teams about not tanking this year. And then they're just basically like trying to bring all this attention to Victor Wembanyama.
it's the
Just teasing us.
It is so frustrating because like they've developed the system, you know, like you want to kill tanking, like you've developed the system, but then you also want to have Vic.
Taylor's about to have a pro
On the
Adam
app?
Silver.
Yeah, they want their
What are you
cake
about
and
to
eat it
say?
too, man.
I'm about to say the NBA can stream all those games because that's entertainment for us as fans. If those teams, I think they should introduce relegation. I think that would be really.
It's
It
impossible.
doesn't make any sense. When
okay.
people say they like the idea of relegation,
I like
they
it.
don't actually know how relegation works. Like you have to have the reason it works in European football is because you have diehard fan bases
Yes.
of like the smallest teams.
Yes.
We don't even have diehard fan bases of the 30 teams in the NBA, and we think there's going to be another 30 teams added. And it really needs to be more than that.
You could fit the number of blue fans you could fit in this room.
in this, and they're here right now.
But
And I'm like, hi.
but does that dynamic change if the Blue have a chance of making it to the
No,
NBA?
no. Okay, are you gonna? So you're gonna send
I think it does.
the Brooklyn Nets to Fort Wayne if the Mad Ants get brought up because the Mad Ants they won the
no,
they won the
just
G League
stay there.
championship.
They stay there in the arena.
I mean, they're gonna play away games in Fort Wayne.
Yeah,
Yeah, that to me is like the end of the conversation
I like it.
of it. That's the end of the
That is
conversation.
So chaotic. I love it.
So we're gonna have an all-star weekend in Fort Wayne.
The NBA finals are going to be in Fort Wayne. There's not, the system is not set up for that. That's not what the G League is. The G League is purely developmental. These guys are making so much less than the NBA guys. I mean, it's insane. And the teams, if a G League team played an NBA team, it would quickly open up your eyes to, oh my gosh,
This
like,
is terrible.
this is the worst idea ever. Because these guys are just not very good.
Okay, but think about relegate. If we
Yeah,
start
keep going,
relegation
Taylor.
now,
Dig in.
in 20 years, the talent will be a lot more dispersed across.
I don't know if the NBA's talent could be more dispersed right now.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much talent right now. Some of these guys could be on G League teams.
I think the
It'd be okay.
natural step with that would be to create another NBA team.
Maybe that's the idea too, though.
But so like the way
What if you could add 10 more cities that were like not G League, they might be NBA teams, and maybe you have 10 teams that are kind of in the middle.
But you realize
these cities
you would get rid of the draft because you could not have the draft in that system.
Why? Only the
Yeah,
teams that are in the league can draft.
So then no one in the second division is good ever.
Yeah, you
'Cause
could-
how are
Oh,
they
that's
getting
true.
any
How do you
players?
get good?
That's true.
How does a G League team get good enough to compete with an NBA team?
Okay, maybe there's a G League tournament, and the top 4
There-
teams are
There is a
included
G
in the
League
lottery.
tournament. Like
But-
it's not
okay,
like
so
what
the,
if
the
like
top
they're-
4 they get lottery balls?
No, the only way you can
Oh
do
my
it
gosh.
is the
That
way-
is
No.
this is okay. We have to stop because like it is
Hey.
such an absurd
You
idea.
have
All
to have
right.
academies where you like find kids when they're 8, like they do over in Europe,
Yeah.
and you like bring them up in your academy. Like that's the only way it can really
Why
work.
is this impossible? We're
Because
in-
it's upending the entire system. It would complete the like.
I
team
didn't know I
value-
was with
And honestly, like,
status quo.
No one's paying $4 billion for a team if there's a chance it can go down to the second division. Like, imagine if OKC, because we know that attendance hasn't been like amazing these
Yeah.
past couple of years. Imagine if OKC was in the second division playing Fort Wayne on a Wednesday night. Like, they're getting like 5,000.
honestly,
Maybe.
the team wouldn't last.
It wouldn't last. You kill so many markets. Oh, and by the way, who would be relegated this year? The Lakers.
The Lakers.
Yes.
How is that good for the NBA?
Oh,
2 years ago, you know who would have been relegated?
Golden State.
The Warriors would have been relegated.
It's the dumbest idea.
It's the worst idea.
Okay, they get relegated, come back, win a championship. That's a story, baby.
They literally would have their season of coming back would have been the year that they were like fully healthy and actually
And won the title. Can you imagine that? And honestly, they
wasting
wouldn't.
that on a G
They
League
wouldn't
year.
have. They wouldn't have been good because Draymond Green. Can you imagine Draymond Green playing against G League teams night in, night out, and saying like, "Hey, you know what? You're instead of making the money that you did, you're making $50K this year." You know, like
Please, Taylor, stop talking about it.
there's no way that it makes sense. It is the dumbest idea.
Please,
I'm just
Taylor.
like-
I
possible.
know he wants
Like-
to. He's about to.
Oh, the Vipers, baby. Rio Grande Valley Vipers.
Like literally say any of these names. Oh, the other thing is like all of these teams are affiliated with an NBA
team.
so they have to
It's
be
just
unaffiliated.
sold off to owners that now have a chance to
Who's
you know
gonna
buy a
no,
team really cheap
If you want,
and then maybe build
Honestly,
it into something.
Shaq
Yeah.
will buy one.
you can buy one cheap, but you know what it's going to do? It's just going to pull money out of your pocket because you don't make money on a G League team. Like these NBA teams that have these G League teams are all losing money
Also,
on
I
those
think
teams. Every single one of them is
the
losing
biggest
money.
issue is that there's a team that the NBA owns. The
Oh,
Ignite.
the Ignite.
Yeah.
Well, the Ignite might be the best team. They
And
seem
they're-
to get all the
Then
best
is like, hey,
prospects.
Ignite are actually in the league now.
All right.
Anyways,
Actually, Taylor's talked me into it.
He
I think we
sold
should.
you.
I think we should do this.
This last point really sold me.
I also just love how the reaction to it. Everyone immediately started thinking about OKC.
I-
It's like
yeah,
they
it
haven't even
makes
been in the
me-
bottom 3.
They haven't been in position for it this
even
whole time.
Even Rockets fans, they have an insane Twitter fan base, which I guess every team probably does.
Theirs is more insular than other teams.
It really is.
Like it is more a bubble than
Like,
any other fan
And
base
apparently, it's
I've ever
just tethered
experienced.
to Oklahoma City as well.
It is.
So it's like
bad.
you have Rocket fans making comments about Oklahoma City being relegated, and I'm like,
Have you been paying attention? I
we
mean,
haven't.
the perception with the Thunder is not the reality of what has happened the past 2 years. I mean, if you look at their record over the 2 years they tanked, they're ranked 48th of like the worst records since I think 2000. They have the 48th worst record in a 2-year span since the year 2000. 48th. The Sixers have the very worst, like the process Sixers have the very worst. And the Rockets over the past 2 years have the 12th worst record over the course of that time. So the Thunder, the perception is, oh my gosh, it's egregious. I can't believe they do this. This is outrageous. They have the 48th worst record during that time, where the Rockets is a lot worse. And then the Sixers, who the Thunder get compared to, is just world's worst. The Thunder could lose every single game this year and still not have a bad of span of time as the Sixers did. They could lose every single game, and still it would not be as bad as the process Sixers.
Is Oklahoma City, of all the cities that have NBA teams, is Oklahoma City the least like famous city. Is that the issue?
I think that, and then also just the fact that Sam like stepped out, wrote something in the Oklahoman, and was like, "We're gonna tank, and it could be really bad."
That's so stupid though. Just because like he actually said it. He didn't even really say it, but he
He didn't
said
say
it.
that, but he said replenish, repurpose, whatever, reposition, replenish. He said those things, and everybody knows that means tank.
Yeah, but like all these other national guys, they know when teams are tanking. It's just like, oh, the GM actually said it.
Yeah,
They're the worst team.
What's funny is that people will look at these other teams and say, oh, like Detroit's obviously going to be so much better. Detroit has had like a bottom 5 defense since the beginning of time, it feels like. Like they haven't had a top 20 defense
Yeah.
in a long time. And they are still this year. I think they're in the
third worst defense.
Yeah, they're in the bottom 3.
And they are the fifth worst offense. They're bottom 5 in both.
That's a really bad team that hasn't figured out. And that's the thing with young teams, they don't know how to win. But this Thunder team, no one ever talks about it, and that's okay. Like, no, you don't have to talk about it. You don't have to know about it. But the Thunder were ranked 17th, and that's even with the Georgios Kalaitzakis era.
Yeah.
You know, they really, if they would have played everybody, and this is where people have the issues, if they didn't play everybody through the rest of the season, but they would probably have a top half of the league defense if they just played everybody and played as hard as they could. They also wouldn't have Chet. So I'd rather have Chet than the 14th ranked defense in the NBA. But they have a foundation of a team that actually can be good whenever they're ready to be good. And that's on the defensive end. Because what are they ranked right now?
I got it for you. Well, first of all, what would you guess?
11th or something like that.
Any other guesses?
That's 12.
16.
10th.
Yeah.
Top 10 defense.
Yeah. So far, I mean, and you see that. you definitely see that on the court.
See that.
Yeah, I can see it. No, I think that to me is one of the things that nobody ever addresses is that the Thunder have a defensive identity and they are slowly developing an offensive identity around players that everybody can play make. And they did that last night. So
it really is kind of wild how bad Detroit has been because even a team like Houston, like they're not in the bottom 5 for both of those.
Yeah.
Like Detroit's net rating is minus 10.4 right now, which is by far the worst in the league.
Yeah.
And I think what's making it worse for Pistons fans is because they expected teams like Utah and San Antonio to be clearly worse than them this year.
And they're not.
And those teams are like at the top of the Western Conference.
Utah has a top 10 defense right now too, I think.
What's your guess?
9.
6.
Are they 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? How?
Dude, have you watch a Utah game?
Jeez, man.
It's an experience.
Just hold on to
watching
the
Utah
microphone
play
for a
right now.
second.
Well, Luke keeps taking it back, honestly. Luke scoots it back over.
So that you can say one thing.
Yeah, this is how it has to work.
Like
Good
that.
job.
Watch a Utah game though, Jay, and you will laugh because they look so good.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Like all those players work together so well. It's
It is
hilarious.
I could understand that offensively, Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton, like Kelly Olynyk, but them being sixth in defensive
They're just
rating.
very engaged. It's weird. It won't last.
So Walker
like
Kessler
the
or
Wiz
something?
are 5 right now.
Yeah.
Lakers 4.
Yeah.
Then you get to like Suns, Cavs, Bucks, teams you expect to be there.
Yeah.
Well, that coach might just be
He's a
a
good
very
coach.
smart feller.
Yeah.
He's very young looking.
Smelling fella.
He's very young. He's the youngest coach.
He's
I
the
think.
youngest coach.
Is he younger than us?
Yes.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
He's 26.
I don't even know his name.
17. That was one of those guys that was yelling behind me.
That's how you really motivate NBA players.
New mindset.
New mindset, Laurie.
New mindset was.
Hey, Laurie, you have a girl's name out there.
It was you.
It was you, Taylor.
I never turned
It was
around.
Taylor.
I never turned around. It was Taylor the whole time. Wow.
Man, I haven't been able to go to a Thunder game this season yet,
You're about
but
to.
I will
You're about to. When are you going to do it?
on
We haven't
Thursday.
talked about it
Oh, down to dunk night next
Yes.
Thursday night. We will
yet. Deep into the podcast.
we will all be there.
Mm-hmm. Even
It's,
Alex.
Even me.
yep, next Thursday. Go get your tickets. Go to our go to our Twitter account at Down to Dunk, and you can click the link, buy yourself tickets. You can buy upper level or lower level tickets. You get to come hang out with us before the game at the Tap House that is in the Omni. That will be very fun. We're going to do a special live Q&A with the Down to Dunkers that are there. So you'll have a chance to
released. Exclusive.
Yeah, it is
No
exclusive.
question is off limits.
No question off limits.
So show up for that, and then we'll walk over to the game and watch the Thunder play the Denver Nuggets.
Who they have already played,
Yep.
and we've only seen 3 teams, and we'll continue to just play those same 3
It feels
teams
like we'll
over
only
and over.
play these
and then
teams
the Timberwolves.
and the
Yes.
Timberwolves again. Yeah, it does feel like that a little bit.
What is? I'm going to look at their upcoming schedule real quick. So they play Dallas next, as we mentioned.
Yep.
Dallas. Oh, then the big game against Orlando.
That was supposed to be nationally televised, but
And you sort of get it now because they're 0-5,
oh my gosh,
which is wild.
it is wild.
But they're fun.
But Paolo's scored over 20 in every game.
He has. Then Denver at Milwaukee at Detroit. No, that's a game I've got my eye on.
yeah,
That's a game I've
the
got my
Thunder
eye
are a
on.
lot better than Detroit right now.
I would agree with that. Did you see? Oh, yeah. You saw the line that Killian Hayes had the other night.
Yeah, so bad.
Was it like 0-4 and
With,
with
like,
zeros everywhere else?
And the 4 turnovers.
Yeah. So, anyways, join us.
More
down
like Killian hates being good at basketball.
Oh.
there's a high likelihood.
yeah,
High likelihood
Mhm.
that in that game against the Nuggets, you might have the full complement of Thunder players,
Chet's back.
except for Chet.
Chet's back on one leg. No, yeah, I think that's very likely. And it will be very fun. After the game, we'll take a big group photo, which will be fun
After celebrating the Thunder W,
with confetti on the
And then we'll
court.
get to shoot half court shots.
Hey,
gonna
and if
shoot
you want to
half-court
win,
shots.
think about shoe choice. Because you don't want to
Yeah.
wear something too slippery.
Exactly.
That's true.
You don't want to scuff up that nice floor.
Or fall on your face in front of hundreds of DTD
Hundreds of
fans.
people.
Oh,
And potentially Poku's parents, because that's who we saw last year
That's
as we
true.
were doing it,
it's very true.
which
Yeah.
is very exciting.
But you can win courtside seats to a Thunder game of your choice.
What would
you
you
make
guys
it.
choose?
Ooh.
What would you guys choose? If you won, you get to go sit courtside. Would you really choose Lakers? Because by the time, like, who knows who you're watching? You're watching like Wenyan Gabriel, Austin
Wenyan
Reeves.
Gabriel. You see Russ sitting next to Wenyan Gabriel, just like talking to him the whole time the other night whenever he was sitting. It's
It
just
seems like the end of the bench guys, because like JTA was like super complimentary to Russ as well. It seems like
Yeah.
all those guys really like Russ.
yeah.
Yeah, those are the only guys Russ hangs out with.
Those are the guys that are still petrified of Westbrook.
You see Westbrook bought a house across the street from LeBron? It's going to be awkward. It's going to be awkward.
I didn't see that. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get into some victories. And we're back after that quick break.
John's back to victory. John's back to victory.
I'm Tayshawn. This is my victory. This week we're just gonna do Thunder Weekly Awards
Okay.
right now. So MVP, this one was tough. I know obviously it's Shai, but we've said Shai now twice.
Yeah.
Is there another nomination?
Why don't we make it the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander MVP award of the week?
No.
Why don't we name it after him? So it can't be him.
Good question.
I feel like SGA MVP would have been easier for you to say.
Shai Alexander Gilgeous Alexander Award. Why?
I mean, this week the number 2 would have to be Trey Mann.
That was gonna be mine. It was
Yeah.
Trey Man. Can we throw Trey up?
Trey Man. No, just throw it Trey Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have.
I
to
think
be
I'd have to give it to Shai though. Like we
I
can
know,
keep
you have
keep
to.
giving it to Shai.
Okay. Until
Because
someone
somebody's gonna
really
be-
deserves it.
then it'll
Yeah,
be
there's
exciting
gonna
when
be a
someone
winner.
else
You
gets
got to earn
yeah,
it.
that's true.
With this,
Okay,
you can't just give it away.
or Shai's just out, and we have to pick someone else.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. I think we're devaluing this award if we're not honest.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Shai MVP. Hype guy.
Give me what is the hype guy?
Hype guy is mostly. I'm trying to get this to be more like, what is Thunder Twitter and who's the internet talking about? Is anyone getting noticed by national people? Who are we hyped on?
I mean,
In that case, Trey, man.
that's Trey Man.
Okay, Trey Man's now won hype guy twice.
Wow.
Congratulations!
You got to earn it.
You gotta earn it.
Gotta earn it. Okay, we have consensus on Trey. Budding flower.
I mean, before tonight, it wouldn't be Poku.
Mm-hmm. It's for the whole week of games, so we have 3 games.
Yeah, for the whole week, it can't. I don't know that it could be Poku.
I mean, potentially Wiggins, just because he didn't play early in the season.
Yeah.
And because of injuries, this was kind of his first week to get significant minutes on the team.
I was going to say Wiggins as well.
And he had both of those Clippers games. He was really good.
Yeah.
He's
He's
great.
played well.
I
Shot
love
the ball
Wiggins.
well.
And he's what? He's budding?
He's a budding flower.
A
yes.
budding flower. Okay.
Played the most minutes last night.
Yeah.
He might be bloomed, and we're just now noticing.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that? Was that flower bloomed already?
Through all the weeds. Looking
Yeah.
through. There he is.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Is that all of them? Is there one more?
That's it.
Okay.
Congratulations to the boys. Those guys.
Congrats, boys.
Good work.
We forgot to mention the free throw debacle last night.
Yeah.
This was Thunder history was made last night. Gosh. Thunder history was made last night. The Thunder did not shoot a free throw in the first
We did it.
3 quarters
Hooray.
of the game.
Were there ones in the arena that were like especially getting the crowd fired up?
There were 2 or 3. I wouldn't say the crowd was really aware of it,
Oh, okay.
to be honest, but you could tell Mark and Shai were visibly upset about it. And then I think they had like 7 or 8 free throws in the fourth quarter, but that has never happened in a Thunder game ever. And I was honestly rooting for 0 free throws because there's never been a game in NBA history that hadn't had at least 1 free throw attempt. The Memphis Grizzlies, I think in 2014, had a game where the only free throw they had was a defensive 3-second violation that they shot. And then the Hawks had one as well, where they only took 1 free throw. And I was honestly rooting for 0 free throws. I didn't quite get there, but maybe in Dallas, maybe we'll get there.
Maybe.
Mark was not happy after the game about that.
You know what's funny though, because as everyone's talking about that, I'm assuming like, oh, the Clippers must have so many free throws. I wonder if this is like the biggest free throw disparity. And then you look it up, and they only had like 15 at that point in the game.
Yeah, they didn't have that many.
So, overall, I'd rather not be watching free throws. So I'll take that. Better entertainment.
Oh, I love it. The game goes so much faster.
Yeah.
But saying the game was over at like 9:15.
Like you can play a 2-hour NBA game. That's
I really wish they would get rid of free throws. I know that's like a fundamental change to the game, but it's such a waste of time. It takes so long.
The games have been faster this year. I don't know. Obviously last night it was that nobody shot free throws, but the game has just been a lot faster, which I think it's such a better product. It felt like last year there were so many game stoppages where you have to stop and look at the review and it felt like some of these games dragged on forever. And almost every game I've been at, it just felt like it's kind of flown by.
Yeah.
What was the halftime show? Because it's on TV. It was just a guy in a skeleton costume just dancing.
So it was it was like, and your halftime show is the Thunder Girls. And the Thunder Girls go out there and they kind of awkwardly stand there, but then spooky guys come out to scare them. I don't know. I left.
Arrested Development was the halftime performance
For the home opener.
Yep.
Yeah.
The show?
Mr. Wendell.
Yeah, the show. They came and acted out an episode.
They just played an episode on the Jumbotron.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
Would have been pretty good.
Yeah, I hate when it's not like an actual halftime show like that.
Yeah.
The Thunder Girls, or when it's like the raindrops, like the little kid dancers.
Yeah.
Or the
out of
Zumba
there.
classes.
The Zumba class.
Do you have any idea what the halftime is for?
Oh, yeah. You got
Thursday?
any inside deets?
Ooh, I'll find out. I don't know.
I wish if I could have my pick, it'd be Quick Change.
Quick change would be awesome.
Quick
Quick
change
change
is
is,
pretty good.
But it's
legitimately
not
great.
the real quick change.
Still, even though poor man's quick change is still pretty good.
It's still pretty good.
They're still
Because
changing
real
pretty
quick
quick.
change passed away.
Still changing pretty
Yeah,
quick.
the guy did.
It's still a
He died
mystery.
of COVID.
How did they do it?
I like the little Chihuahua
On the ball.
on the ball,
Yeah.
and he like climbs on his guy.
What about the golden guys that hold each other up? And
That's pretty impressive
That
too.
is good too.
yeah,
But the best one ever is when the magician drowned at the game. It was several years ago.
I don't know if that was
True.
the best one. It was memorable.
that
I'll
was
never-
that was one.
I'll never forget it.
Highest level of entertainment.
Is this your deep dive?
No, I can't. You want me to deep dive? I'm ready to deep dive. I'm super
Your
into.
music is playing right now.
Okay, see, I can't hear. I'm super on TikTok. Two things I'm super into right now.
Mhm.
One, worm. What did I say? The worm. It's the guy that plays worm eating candy game where everyone's worms and they eat candy and they're trying to fight against each other. As you eat more candy, you get bigger.
Okay.
Okay.
I watch it.
You watch it. You don't play it. You watch it.
No, I watch it. I watch a guy play it. His name is Win Depress, and I'm obsessed with it. I watch it all the time. And the second is the guy that is represented himself in the like Michigan trial because he
Oh, the kidnapping thing.
he ran his guitar. He ran his car through a parade of people. Yeah.
Just imagine this guy running through a parade.
No, he did it with his car,
Yeah.
and he represented himself,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing a fairly bad job of it,
Yeah.
and he was found guilty on all 76 counts.
Wow.
Yes, he did a very bad job, and I watched it all the time on TikTok. Those are my two things I'm deep diving about.
Do you find, because I knew you were into Law and Order before becoming a lawyer,
Mhm.
do you find yourself being even more into like true crimes type stuff?
No,
No, you have. Is it worse because you've seen how the sausage is
And
made?
you know it's not realistic.
it's not very realistic.
Mm.
And so when I'm watching, I'm not watching it for like how they're like.
You don't have
doing
your
it
legal
for-
pad out.
How do I
taking
get
notes?
better?
No, I'm not like taking notes. It's just I just watch it because I just really like the characters on SVU.
I've grown up with them.
I've grown up with them. Olivia, she's a mother now, and Finn Tutuola, they're just great. I really like them. The crew. It's grown so much.
You got questions and you ask them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Now let's get down to it.
Oh, it's time for some Twitter questions. Our first Twitter question comes from @Jamorud, who said, "What's the record through these 5 games if we had a healthy Chet?"
It could legit be like 4-1 because I bet they would have won that opening game against
Against
the
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, they
for
were
sure.
they were one player away from winning that game. And that player could have been J-Dub if he actually played, because Minnesota's looked bad at times.
Bad, especially considering who they have played.
Yeah, it's
They've
not.
had a cake schedule. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that Utah and San Antonio are like good.
Yeah,
now,
but they're not good. Like those teams are not good.
right.
They just don't know they're bad yet.
Yes.
I think that having Chet's presence at the rim
It
is a
changes
pretty
everything.
dramatic game changer for them. So I'm with you. I probably think 4-1.
And also, he's another guy who might get guarded at the 3-point line.
Yeah, which creates more space. I do think they probably, because they had a chance to be in the game at the end of the Nuggets game.
Yeah, for sure. And that, I mean, the reason they lost the second Minnesota game was because everyone got hurt
Yeah.
by the end of the game,
Yeah.
and it all just kind of fell apart. But the first half, like they were right there with them
Mhm.
again.
Yeah, they played well in that. They played.
Well, but
they didn't play well.
5-0.
They were garbage.
5-0.
I think maybe, but and the hard part is the way Chet is going to impact the game. Like you look at Anthony Edwards, who was probably the biggest difference maker in that second Timberwolves game. Is there were so many times that he was getting just not wide open layups, but uncontested. Even though he was being defended, they
Yeah,
were
you get to the-
uncontested getting to
yes,
the rim.
You get the rim.
And that's, you looked at it last night. The Clippers, when they were keeping it close in the third and fourth quarter, they were just attacking the rim because they know that Oklahoma City Thunder have very little rim protection.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the way that Chet could, and then once Anthony Edwards got in rhythm early on, it was, you just knew he was going to be able to score at will
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the game. And so I don't know. I just think he definitely changes a lot.
You know who changes a lot? The halftime show quick change.
Quick change. Yeah.
Hey, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Brian M. Bailey, who wants to know, is it too early to elevate Trey Mann to guy status?
Has he not been at guy status? It's so weird because back in the day, I mean, we would give much lesser players guy status.
I was a little frivolous with guy status back then.
I mean, Josh Houston's got guy status quickly. We learned our lesson.
It was a mistake. I've made mistakes and I learned from them.
It's like having that dog in him. When everyone has a dog, no one has a dog.
That's a
Everyone's
great
guy,
point.
no one's a guy.
Trey Mann's a guy.
Here's the deal. After 20 games, we will discuss guy status. They will all be eligible for guy status. You know, like sometimes you have to there's like a deadline, or you have to wait until for so long before you can have actual like status here.
Everyone is eligible.
Everyone's eligible. We will have after 20
15 more
games, we'll do a podcast and we will declare who is and is not a guy through 20 games.
Okay.
Next Twitter question comes again from Brian Bailey, who wants to know, is Darius on this team past the trade deadline?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Honestly, if he plays like this, it almost makes me feel like it's less likely because
You could
His value is
yeah,
going
you
to be.
could, yeah, not like he's gonna like bring back some huge haul, but like I could see another team watching that game last night
Yeah.
and say that guy could really help our team
Yeah.
off the bench, like that. And we talked about Phoenix as like one
Mhm.
idea,
Mhm.
but I think there's multiple teams around the league where it would make sense.
Yeah. And you could say like, hey, give us your 2029 lottery protected first for him. And they'd be like, oh, it's so far away. Like I'll probably don't have a job then anyway. So sure.
It'd be hard for me to see him getting a first.
It would be.
I would be surprised. I'm trying to think of other teams he'd be good on. But honestly, in his role right now, he's that role, 20 minutes a game,
Mhm.
blocking shots, getting rebounds, playing play finisher. Like I have nothing negative to say.
He needs to play on a team that's more geared toward that. The center team is not going to be geared toward that, especially in the long haul. Like they
What
need,
about the
Hmm?
Portland Trailblazers?
Yeah, I mean he's a Blazer. He's definitely a Blazer.
He could be a Blazer.
Yeah.
I mean, the absolute air sucked out of their life whenever Dame got hurt for 2 weeks. Like that sucks. They're playing really well.
Yeah.
It's 1 to 2 weeks.
It's 1 to 2 weeks. And
They tune in to Slam and Jam to learn more.
yeah, I was gonna say there's some reasons to still be optimistic.
Yeah,
about
they're one of the best early stories in the season.
Yeah. Also, look at their roster and remember last year, like they thought they were tanking and they started winning all these games with Anthony Simons and Nurk, and now they've added Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
Like, especially if like GP2 comes back, I think like they play Houston next.
They're gonna weather.
Like they can beat Houston.
Josh Hart can handle more possessions too.
Yeah, Josh Hart scored 44 points in a game last year.
It's true.
Keep that in mind for trivia,
Yep. Mhm.
folks.
Mhm.
We already recorded some.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say cheater.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Keep that in mind.
I've just been feeding Andrew all the answers. All this.
It's like
Makes sense.
It's like on the rehearsal. Where he's feeding him the trivia answers.
Oh yes.
Hey guys, let's go to our next Twitter question. It comes from OKC Thunder fan 69.
What?
Who wants to know, is this team fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. When
Shai plays.
Or if Shai was out and Giddey and J-Dub were playing, I would say similarly
Yeah.
fun.
I'm going to say no. Not until Chad is back.
Not
fun.
until Chet is back.
Yes.
Well, you've got a long time.
They were really fun last night. It's an enjoyable team to watch. The ball moves really well. At the end of the game, they're doing stuff that you just hope that they would do, where they have like Trey Mann is screening for Shai at the end of the game. And then the following possession, it's Shai screening for Trey. And it's just like, man, this is it. Like that's great offense.
I think this team is not fun because of what you just said. You didn't say, no, they're a lot of fun. You said, this is an enjoyable team to watch, which is not the same as fun.
Enjoyable things are not fun.
No, you can enjoy something and it's not fun.
They are fun.
I really enjoy watching this team because they are fun.
Yeah.
Wrong.
It is. I mean, it's
Have you watched? How many games have you watched this
20
season?
in the my entire life. Thunder games. 20
job.
total.
Good
Yeah.
job.
I don't know. Yeah.
I look forward to watch. That's why, and that's partly why I was so bitter whenever we thought that all those guys were going to be out on Tuesday, because I've been looking forward to watching the games
Mm-hmm.
and, orienting which is part of us. Like, I also talk about the Thunder a lot, obviously, but it was I do enjoy, and it makes me a little bit bummed for fans that have not jumped in on this thing, because last night would have been an awesome game to be
It's
at.
been a great game to be at. So yeah, Tuesday and Thursday.
And the
would have been
energy, you
great.
can feel it, even though the stadium feels like it's probably 65% full.
Yeah.
Which may be generous.
It was more full. It was more full Tuesday than
Yeah.
it was last night. But yeah, probably that last
But
night.
you watch, like, there were some moments where, when Poku hits those threes, or when
was
Trey
loud.
does
It
some
got
stuff,
loud.
like it does. And
Yeah.
it's like to have the fans back the way. And I think next year will be the year where you really see that.
Yeah.
Having Chet hurt, I think, was pretty momentum killing for fan enthusiasm for this
Yeah.
year. But I think as they watch the team more and more this year, they'll get more bought in with it. So
Yeah.
anyway, because they're fun, a lot of fun.
They
Even.
are fun. Yeah.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Pepsi United, who wants to know who gets to the playoffs first, OKC or the LA Lakers?
I like that question.
C or the LA Lakers?
I think the Lakers make it this year.
What?
I think they're going to trade Russell Westbrook like soon.
I know, but will
they have to do it within 2 weeks so that I can repost that article that called me an NBA writer and predicted when I was predicting that.
That's
Russ would be traded in
right.
2 weeks.
I think
That's
if they
right.
All I
trade
care
for
about.
Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, which I don't know. I mean, I'm trading. If I'm the Lakers, I'm just trading everything for that, because you're so in on this team, and it's just you can't. What else are you going to do? Just be mediocre for 2 more years?
A part
and
of me
keep
is
giving
just
your
like,
picks
I
away?
just don't know that LeBron is that guy anymore. Like, is it worth it to sell off that, like, the rest of your future?
You already did.
I know, but they didn't though.
Yeah.
They did. You don't have to do it. I don't think that Buddy Hield and Miles Turner are changing your life.
I mean, just to have the spacing that they provide and have competent guys that can hit shots whenever LeBron and Anthony Davis.
This is first level thinking, but I almost do it just to avoid the scenario where they lose Victor Wembanyama. Like the Lakers pick becomes Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
Just because
I
you're
just don't
scared of
wanna
being
deal
in the
with that.
lottery.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a really tough decision. And Pelinka's made almost every wrong decision since LeBron's gotten there. It's tough. I don't know. I don't fault them for not doing it, just because giving up 2 unprotected picks for this team that already has these unprotected picks that are conveying and they're good, it's just kind of scary.
Yeah. There's part of me that wonders how much the way this team is talked about impacts because they are a team that's built on their vanity. So it's like the fact that they're the laughing stock of the NBA, does that ultimately go into any of their thinking? Like, you clearly have disgruntled superstars. Like LeBron is furious, even though he may not say it outright, but he's saying enough things and acting in certain ways. Anthony Davis, I just wonder, like, is that pressure put on them to go and do something drastic?
They're gonna do something. I mean, they will undoubtedly do something. I hope it's not Josh Richardson for Westbrook. That's just like, oh my goodness, that's just an absurd thought to me.
I watched the SB Nation, which I know is just a collection of basically fans writing, but aren't they? Or are they real media? I don't know. Either way, they had, the reason I say that is because they had, like, here's 4 or 5 trade scenarios for Russell Westbrook, and 2 or 3 of them was like, the other team's not going to do that. And I can't remember what it was, but it was so bad. I think it was one where it was a 3-team trade with Utah and Miami, and it's like Miami is getting rid of Duncan Robinson to take back Kelly Olynyk, which I'm like, I don't think so. But
Yeah, it's
I mean, just in the next week, they have at Minnesota, Denver at home, New Orleans at home.
yeah.
LLL.
Like, they could be 0-7 at the
Then
beginning
it's
of
time
November.
to pull the trigger, right?
Yes, according to NBA writer Alex Spears.
That's right.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from at Zach Deeg. He said, "What did you promise yourself you won't overreact about, but will definitely overreact about in the first 5 games?"
Trey Mann, I guess. I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to flip this question on its head.
Oh, flip it.
You know what I haven't overreacted to that I'm proud of myself for is
Mhm.
I am not thinking about wins and losses and the reverse tank standings.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I'm not going to waste energy on it anymore. I made that decision at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
and I've stuck with it, and it just makes for a very much more enjoyable experience.
It's not as stressful. Like these Clippers games would have felt very stressful. But also we have the benefit of having Chet waiting in the wing.
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't have that and they're still, and let's say like their draft was just, this was it, you know,
Oh, if I was the Jazz right now, if I was a Jazz fan,
I would be losing it.
I would be losing my mind.
And I would be like, what is it going to take 3 or 4 trades for us to get there? And in-season trades are just way more difficult to make. I don't know. That would stress me out. And any Spurs win would stress me out because the Spurs don't have. I like Devin Vassell a lot, but
he's already getting held out
I
for knee soreness.
I know, but they don't have anybody. Like they just don't have anybody that can help lead their team. And the fact that they've won games, it would stress me out. Like I would not want to win one game if I were them.
So you guys know less stress, huh? Not stressing?
I mean, they've had 2 really good drafts, and they'll probably have another lottery pick wherever it is. It just is what it is. You know, we talked about it earlier. They've got a lot of good players, and
we're actually cool cucumbers now.
Cool cucumbers.
Shai is really
very,
good.
Very zen.
Very zen.
Very zen. Yes.
Very zen. Got to stay zen.
Where will be what will be.
Except when everyone gets injured. Then maybe that's the thing I ever.
We'll reconvene later. Hey, our last Twitter question. It comes from that Red Sox Rebert, who wants to know what chants are we doing at Down to Dunk night? Here's the one I have. You know the ones where it's like dun 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 dun, and it's like moving up the whatever.
Mm-hmm. Is that a chant though, or is it just a
We're
sound?
gonna make it a chant because
Okay.
you don't chant anything.
Yeah.
We'd say my wife.
My wife.
My wife.
Do they still do the one with the sample of the Star Wars?
Which one?
I can't remember it.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, do they?
I don't.
Where they just play that over and over again?
I don't know.
I don't know what's the Star Wars sample.
Well, now I can't remember. And now I'm wondering if I'm really just thinking about the really loud one that DJ Boom used to do. The
I think you're talking about Meet George Jetson when.
Oh yeah,
Nick
they do that
Collison
a
came
lot.
When Nick Collison.
They do
came
that.
in.
They do that. They did it. It felt like 1,000 times last night.
What does that
down,
sound like?
Down, 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 down.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay.
Meet George Jetson.
That is my wife. We just only do my wife chants
That
the whole
is
night.
my wife. That'd be awesome. I'd be into that. We have a prompt at the end. Are we doing this last prompt? We have a prompt in the notes.
What's the prompt?
Favorite scary horror movie films of all time.
I hate scary movies.
Oh, why? Too spooky? You get too
spooky.
scared?
You too scared? You too scared?
You too scared?
Too scared.
I bet you like. I mean, you got kids, so you watch like Casper or.
Yeah.
Is that a spooky movie?
It's spooky.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost
There's
movie.
multiple ghosts in
are
it.
spooky.
That's supernatural.
Yeah. Ghosts are spooky.
Curious George and the Legend of No Noggin.
Okay, I don't know that one, but it sounds pretty spooky.
It's pretty spooky.
So that's pretty spooky.
So that could be one. What about you, Luke? You're a horror guy
Best
You're a horror guy.
best horror movie of all time
of all time.
is Scream.
I do love Scream.
It's-
Scream's so funny.
Awesome. It's so good. And
I haven't seen it in a long time.
oh, it's good.
I
I think your kids are old enough to watch it.
I think so too.
Wow.
I think so. But the other that I think is really good is The Shining is really good. It's really
Shining's
good.
great.
It's really good
Yeah.
to take naps too because it's long. And when you wake up, like something's crazy happening. It's crazy
It
because it's very
terrible.
What a
That
recommendation.
sounds
it's very
horrible.
dreamlike itself, and so when you're waking it, it's
So basically, when you're asleep, you are watching the movie because you're dreaming it,
exactly.
and then you wake up and catch back up.
Yeah, Zodiac's not. I don't think a horror or scary movie, but
More of a thriller,
kind of-
psychological thriller.
kind of. But it's very good, and I like it. But I was
Mhm.
thinking the best horror like franchise, if you're gonna watch all of them, from,
Yeah.
like, I think it's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Never seen one.
Never
Really?
Never seen 'em.
Really?
Never seen
Never
it.
seen.
Wow.
Hey,
You've
man,
seen
never
Freddy vs.
seen-
Jason?
No. Why would
Yes,
you?
you
Why would you
have.
assume that?
Because I think I saw it with you. I think we went when I turned 18.
On the day you turned
I
18.
think so.
Huh.
Also, Final Destination is really good too.
Well, Final Destination's the best,
I mean,
and they're coming out with a new one.
you know the third one? I saw it on TV because it went straight to DVD, and I was like, "Well, it's no good."
Yeah.
It starts
Yeah.
with a
Is that the NASCAR?
Roller coaster?
roller coaster.
Oh, roller
Like
coaster.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in it. She's
Are
the
you
main
sh-
character.
Are you sure that wasn't?
Who's Elizabeth
the theaters?
Mary?
I thought we saw it in
Winstead?
the
Mary Elizabeth
theaters.
Winstead. She's in Scott Pilgrim. She's in.
Haven't seen
She's
it.
in
Keep
the
going.
new Thing movie. She's
Haven't
in a
seen
lot of
it.
stuff. She's in a lot of stuff.
Never
Never
seen
seen it.
anything she's been in.
But then also girl that's in Silicon Valley's in it. And I was watching, I was like, I know who these actors are. I thought this was a lot worse than it was. It's fine.
It's before their time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Good. I love scary movies. But the best one, Scream.
Yeah, Andrew, you need to let your kids watch Scream.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
I'm gonna turn it on right now.
The thing is if you get the just the right age, I think your older two honestly are old for some like the older ones, older scary movies.
Yeah.
It will really scare them. And
It'll really do a number on
Really
this.
They'll be done.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Are you miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and peeved.
I have a little bit of water incursion at my house.
Oh
It rains.
no! Where?
no.
On one of the balconies?
Yeah, it's from all three of the balconies. It's dripping from the ceiling a little bit. I
Oh
need to
no!
get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of that too. That I'm trying to figure out.
It's very stressful. I'm thinking about it. I think I know how to fix it. but
Yeah, it's the worst.
Very stressful.
It's the
Which means I'm
worst.
gonna have to get on a ladder on the balconies.
No.
Oh, don't do that! Don't,
I have to.
don't. This is Final
It's too
Destination
windy.
stuff, man.
It's too windy.
I
This is
have to.
Final Destination stuff, man.
You have
Don't do
to.
it.
You have to attach yourself to the building.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Trust me. I thought
You have to
about
go belay on.
it. Well, the ladder cannot be rickety at all.
No, of course not.
Yeah, no one's arguing with you
You
about
know,
that.
I mean, sometimes you
No,
can
it
get
could be a
on-
little rickety.
you can get on one that's a little rickety sometimes.
Not on a balcony.
I know,
I
but
mean, if
not
you're hanging
all the
up a
time.
picture,
But that's when you got to be
fine.
really careful.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
yes, I'm going to be really careful.
You better be careful.
you better be careful.
We want
But
to see you. We want to see
but-
your. We want to see you at
I
down to
won't
dunk
be
night.
pissed if you're not there because you died because you fell off the fountain shower.
Just know if I went down to dunk night in a neck brace, I fell off.
I think it'll be more than a neck brace.
Yeah,
you fall
If
from-
that's all you get as a neck brace, honestly, that would be a great story.
great story. If you fall into the pool,
Now we're talking.
Down
It's
below?
it's too far.
I was gonna say it'd have to be a pretty big gust of wind to get you
Plus, I
to
don't
the
think
pool.
pool's deep enough.
Oh, really? Yeah, by-
How
by
deep does a
pool.
pool have to be? Do you think
I don't know because you know the old like circus guys who could jump from a huge tower and land in the kiddie pool.
they splash
and
into
they,
the
like,
kiddie pool?
In the
Splash.
thimble.
Yeah,
You just
Yeah.
have to land the right way.
yeah, that's all it's about.
I don't
You
trust
should
myself.
try
I'm not
that.
a diver.
I'm not
Um,
I was a swimmer, not a diver.
Favorite Halloween candy? You guys got a favorite Halloween candy?
I got one. Reese's.
Yeah.
You put them in the freezer. Perfect treat anytime.
So here's the deal: you can get Reese's any time of the year. I like the weird stuff that I only see at Halloween, like the
The big
Krabby
pink-
Patties.
like the big peanut.
You can get Krabby Patties anytime, though, bro.
But I don't, and I do
Well,
buy
that's the- okay,
Reese's
Well, then that's
normally.
that's the argument. That means Reese's is the best candy. It doesn't mean it's the best Halloween candy.
Correct.
I get you.
Nerds. I don't buy Nerds.
Nerds rope is good.
Who did I just
I
see
love
who
blowing through a rope.
Who did I just see who was eating a Nerds rope? I feel like it was an athlete actually.
Also, nerds have
Oh,
the
really?
little like they're circles that are nerds, but they have the nerd rope inside in the circle. They're like nerds bites. They're
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Those would be good. I'm doing no sugar right now.
No sugar.
No.
No sugar.
No sugar. So nothing in that
No.
coffee.
Nothing in that
You
coffee.
never have anything in that coffee.
Never have anything anyway.
No fixins.
Yeah.
Do your kids like? Does it line up where one of their dislikes matches up with another likes, and they trade candy?
No, but they'll just combine everything, and they like to sort it out, like spread it out and see like what do we have here.
Let's get our bearings. Let's do some inventory.
Yes, let's figure out what's going on here. So that's what we did last
I like
year.
a Snickers, but I like
Snickers is very good.
But I like Snickers all the time.
Yeah, me too.
That's the problem.
I know.
I'm gonna start if no one comes to my house. We got like 4 kids last year. But I would love to give out ice cream bars
I turn out.
and let them figure it out.
I turn out like when I had a house that like I just turn out all of my lights.
Why? You love Halloween.
Yeah,
I don't
you're a
hand out-
Halloween
I don't
guy.
hand out candy.
That is such a selfish approach to your favorite holiday.
That really
Sorry,
is.
man.
You got to spread the joy.
Why are you
busy.
not spreading the joy?
I'm too busy drinking and partying.
By yourself inside in the dark?
No, because I can go. Then I go to the party and turn on lights.
What is your costume this year?
I'm a banana.
Okay,
That's it. I wanted something simple. I wanted it to be a crab or a banana.
crab.
I thought it'd be or a lobster.
Yeah, are you dressing up, Al?
No.
You dressing up your baby?
Yeah,
Just
he's
a
an
baby?
avocado.
That's pretty good.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Is it? Is it really?
Is it?
I went to Spirit. The Spirit. It used to be Pier 1 by the mall.
Oh
Spirit
yeah.
Halloween.
Pittsburgh, and it's a
That's where you got
Spirit
your
Halloween.
banana?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
I didn't because they had the inflatable costumes. that,
Yeah.
like have the motor.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have a thing to where like I can take a drink from outside the costume and drink it easily. So I was like, I'm worried about that. But there were some really good inflatable ones.
Do you remember my robot costume?
I do.
Yes.
So one of the
Oh
arms
my
was
gosh.
fake, and my arm was inside the box. One of my arms was free.
Yeah.
And I had a koozie in there
So
where I
smart.
could put a beer
So smart.
and then just open my
Oh,
chest
yeah,
and
I
drink
remember
and then
that.
put it back in.
That's
Yeah.
so smart.
That's so smart.
So smart.
So
Because they
so
had
smart.
one that was Barney the dinosaur inflatable that I was
Oh, yeah.
wanting to be,
Yeah.
but I thought can't drink. And that's a big part of Halloween. that's a huge part of Halloween.
Big
That's
part of
my
Halloween.
adult candy. Is alcohol.
And you celebrate year round.
Yes, I do.
yeah, but that's not a Halloween candy.
That's right.
Thanks so much for listening to the pod. Down to Dunk Night. Go get your tickets. It's gonna be a great time. Show up at the Tap House at 5:30 for a live Q&A. It's gonna be very, very fun. Then we'll go watch a Thunder game, shoot some half-court shots. It'll be very enjoyable. We would appreciate if you guys would be there. You guys have a great, great weekend, and we will talk to you guys again on Monday.